ladies and gentlemen, my name's Nick Blake. Come down to Broadway at the Beach, check out the show. When I'm in town, I like watching Lady J on TV. Give it up, Lady J. Woo-woo!
Jay Jenkins, you're sick for this one, baby. Yeah, what? Come on. Lady J's montage is show to watch for the mom and the children and the pops. Giving life to the community. In the community, there'll be more unity. Sit back, relax, take a look. Give me 28 minutes and you'll be hooked. Lady J's montage. Lady J, what? Lady J, huh? Lady J, what? Lady J, what? Lady J's montage is show to watch for your mom and the children and the pops. Giving life to the community. In the community, there'll be more unity. Sit back, relax, take a look. Give me 28 minutes and you'll be hooked. Lady J's montage. Lady J, let's go! Hi everybody, this is Lady J of Lady J's Montage. I have a special guest today who's going to inform us about her career. Why did she choose a career? What did it take for her to have this career? You're going to be really surprised today because it's wonderful information to guide you in the right direction. District Court Judge Beth Freshwater-Smith. Oh, I am so honored to be in your presence today.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you and hopefully give some insight into some of these young folks and about how important it is to never give up.
Oh, that's very important. So tell me, how did you go about getting into this type of career?
Well, as a young person, I was taught to give back to the community. And I was also told that hard work was what it took. And I also was taught about patriotism. So initially I said, I want to clean up the streets. Well, I realized that that's not a one-person job as a lawyer. But lawyers are well respected, or at least I thought they were when I was growing up, and I wanted to be a lawyer. So I wrote a paper about lawyers in the 8th grade or 7th grade, don't remember which it was, and ever since then I've been on that career path. I graduated high school, went to college at UNC Chapel Hill.
Go Tar. Go Tar Heels.
Yeah. And then I worked for a couple of years to make some money to go back to law school. And I went to Campbell Law School, which at that time was in Bowie's Creek. And where there was nothing but studying.
You had to pay attention,
yes. Now the law school has moved to Raleigh, which I know is good for people that want internships, but I can assure you I had no distractions when I was in Bowie's Creek. I graduated law school, passed the bar, and was working a little bit in private practice. I had interned while I was in school with the U.S. Attorney's Office, which is a prosecutorial body. That's who prosecutes your federal cases.
Okay.
Your district attorneys prosecute the state cases. And I wanted to be a prosecutor. Again, I thought I could clean things up. Well, this is what I realized. It takes people that care. None of us can make everything right alone. We all have to work together. So I prosecuted cases here in Nash, Edgecombe, and Wilson County for 28 years.
Wow.
And then I became a district court judge. I ran for election and was elected and then re-elected in 2020, which I greatly appreciate because it is the people that I serve and they're the ones that voted for me. And I make tough decisions every day, and I pray I'm making the right decisions.
Well, that's the difference. When you really care and you have that compassion for your career, it makes a total difference for everybody.
Yes, it does.
You can sleep at night.
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes.
My sleeping is, I will sometimes be concerned about, did I do the right thing? Because I care. It's just like when I was a prosecutor. As a prosecutor, Your job is to see justice is done. It's not about winning and losing, you know, keeping track of your cases. And even though as a prosecutor, you know, I did try all types of criminal cases, now as a district court judge, I handle everything from family law to civil lawsuits, child support, everything.
I was going to
Bonds.
ask you that.
Yeah.
What has been one of the most challenging cases, if you could share that with us?
Well, I know I've mentioned before to you that I was one of the first women in North Carolina to successfully prosecute a capital murder case. And obviously that was really something for me. It was an old case, and I was glad that I could get some justice for that victim. But now, as a district court judge, one of the type cases that concerns me the most is child custody. Because I'm setting a live little or older human being on a path. If I don't give custody like I should, if I make a mistake, you know, I'm concerned about that child's future. With the criminal matters, as murder, you know, the victim is deceased. But I'm setting a child on a trajectory when I decide who's going to have custody. Or I also, district court judges, we terminate parental rights. And that is also a very onerous responsibility too.
That's the key word, responsibility, because you may have people who don't really care, but you do. And so you have a little more weight with your decision making.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's why you are where you are, and you're great at what you do. So
well,
I'm glad you're that type of person.
I do care very, very much. I wanted to do this job because I felt that I could make a positive difference in the community. Exactly.
And then you're inspiring other people as well.
Well, I hope so.
You're being watched. Yes, you are. You can't help that, but when you are doing the right thing the right way, that's a tremendous asset for everybody.
I hope so.
So, being a person who has to make decisions and, you know, you have to do your judge thing, tell me about character. How important is character? I know in schools we have some character education, and I don't know how much it's been implemented because each school system has different responsibilities. But I would like for you to talk with us about character. How important is that?
It is so important, especially in a job like the one that I have. I mean, it is a job, but for me it's a calling. And you've got to be able to stand up for your principles. There are going to be folks that try to sway you one way or the other, and sometimes you've got to make decisions that don't make folks happy. But you know, that is being strong in character, and that is a very, very important trait, regardless of what you do. It doesn't matter if you're a school teacher. You know, it doesn't matter if you're a plumber. It doesn't matter. You know, people respect folks that have character. And character is that integrity to do the right thing no matter what. And it's just like in school. You know, when you see somebody being bullied or somebody's doing the wrong thing and everyone's, ooh, I don't snitch or whatever. Well, you know, you've got to stand up for what you believe in and stand up for what's right.
Because sometimes you never know. You may be on the other end of that.
Exactly.
And would you want someone to snitch? Because there's a way to do it and you don't have to get in trouble. But if you don't let someone know, you can't be helped.
Well, and there are many examples that we hear about all the time of students that, or folks that were harmed with drugs or whatever. And there were people with them that if they had just called for help. But so often we're concerned about our own self and staying out of trouble that we fail to help folks.
So there are agencies out there, like I know they have Crime Stoppers with police departments and things like that, where you can tell and get it out, and you won't be seen. It could be anonymous.
Correct.
But it's just that little touch, that clue that could get someone some help. That's very
And
important.
if you were the victim, or you were the family who had been hurt, or you were the person that was getting ready to be hurt, you would want somebody to stand up for you.
Exactly.
And that's just so important.
So what other activities are you involved with? What do you do to relieve stress? I know you have a stressful job.
Well, I am a mother. I have 2 children. Of course, that's stress too. But for relaxation, I needlepoint.
Oh.
And I want you to get a chance to look at my patriotic tree.
We are going to show you that patriotic tree. It is gorgeous.
The ornaments are all handmade by me and by doing needlepoint. I like to read, listen to books on tape while I'm needlepointing.
Oh, wow.
And
multitasking.
Yeah. Oh, type A personality. Yeah. And I try to exercise. Can't say that I'm always real good at that.
Okay. All right. What else do we need to know about you as a person? What else do you stand for?
I tell you, I stand for hard work, equal justice, patriotism, and a love of God. Now, some folks wouldn't want to hear that. But without prayer, I couldn't do what I do.
That's wonderful. That's very, very encouraging.
Yeah.
I am so grateful that you have spent time with me, and I've gotten to know you better, especially with your occupation. I just admire so many things that you do. I make decisions sometimes, but not on your level.
Well.
And that takes a lot of strength and analytical and critical thinking, and you're going to make even more of a difference when we see you more in the community and any type of involvement. I've seen you volunteer in the community, giving your time and your effort, and we really appreciate you.
Well, I am happy to be a public servant.
Well, thank you for being on Lady J's Montage.
Thank you. This is a superior courtroom where jury trials are held. Court reporter sits there, the clerk over here. As a district court judge, one of my responsibilities is to give first appearances. That's what we call it. When someone is charged with a crime, they are in jail or they may be out on bond, but they come up before us. I make sure that they know what they're charged with and what their rights are. And I also find out what they'd like to do about a lawyer. In a criminal case, everyone has the right to have a lawyer represent them. You can hire the lawyer of your choosing, you can ask me to appoint a lawyer, or you can always represent yourself, which in very serious cases I would never recommend. This is Judge Barbie. When I go to speak to younger students, I like to take her with me because she's a perfect example of anyone can be an attorney, anyone can be a judge, it doesn't matter. She's career Barbie. I'm Judge Beth Freshwater-Smith, and I'm a district court judge in Nash, Edgecombe, and Wilson counties. And I am excited to be able to speak to you today about how I got to be where I am and encourage you to continue to do your schoolwork and just be the very best that you can be. I grew up in what was a small town in eastern North Carolina. When I came to Raleigh through Wilson, I thought I was in the big city. So things where I lived, I was taught that everybody was important. That's the way my parents brought me up, and that's the way I try to treat folks. I was brought up on hard work, that if you really put your mind to something and you really work, that you could be successful at whatever you chose to do. Didn't matter if you were a girl or a boy. And also I was brought up with patriotism. I believe in this country. We've got some bad times right now, but there have been bad times before. And as long as we all pull together, we can make this country as great as it has been and will continue to be. Now, I'm a lawyer. Like I said, growing up in that small town, when I looked around, it seemed like lawyers were folks that could be admired. They did things to help. And my parents taught me to give back to the community. So in 8th grade, might have been 7th grade, I wrote a paper on lawyers. And that's what really got me going. And so from then on, this was my career path, to be an attorney and to help people, to be a public servant. So what I have done is I've been a prosecutor I was a prosecutor for about 28 years. And as a senior district attorney in Nash, Edgecombe, and Wilson counties, I prosecuted all types of cases. I was one of only 2 women in North Carolina to successfully try a capital murder case. So I've tried everything from murders to traffic tickets to littering, whatever. And even though those are things that I prosecuted and they are very, very important, now that I'm a district court judge, I handle all types of cases. Everything from criminal and bonds to family matters, child custody, divorce, child support, civil lawsuits, many, many other areas of the law that I deal with on a daily basis. I have to make tough decisions, but I make those tough decisions because I have been entrusted by the folks in this community to do so. And I follow the law. I take the law, listen to the evidence that's presented, apply the law to those facts, and make the very best decision that I can. I would like to tell you all that, everybody's afraid. Folks will act like they're not, but we all have insecurities. And what I want to encourage you to do is work against those insecurities that you have. If you are afraid to speak in public, then take public speaking classes or join clubs. I was the first female in the Future Farmers of America, where I come from. Put yourself out there. Do new and different things. The more you do things, the more comfortable you'll become. And like I said, I believe in working very hard, and that's exactly what I've done. There's always going to be somebody who's had it easier, and there's always going to be somebody who's had it more difficult. And I realize that. I know that I've had a hard road to hoe at times, but there's somebody else who's been even worse off than I am. So I want to encourage you, keep up the spirit, keep up the desire. Whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it. This is America.
Hola chicos! Let's learn about Hispanic Heritage Month and why we celebrate it here in the United States. Hispanic Heritage Month starts on September 15th and it ends on October 15th. During this 30-day period, we celebrate the histories, cultures, and contributions of American citizens whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America. Hispanic Heritage Month actually started as Hispanic Heritage Week in 1968 by President Johnson. However, 20 years later, in 1988, President Reagan passed a public law to celebrate for 30 days. Now, the Hispanic Heritage Month starts on September 15th, and that is very important because on that day, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua celebrate their Independence Day. On top of that, Mexico celebrates their Independence Day on September 16, Chile on September 18, and Belize on September 21st. Within this 30-day period, we also celebrate El Día de la Raza, also known to us as Columbus Day, on October 12th. Hispanic Heritage Month pays tribute to the generations of Hispanics and Latinos who have positively influenced and enriched our nation and society. Hispanics have contributed to the American life since the American Revolution, fighting in every war since then. Latinos today continue to advance our communities across the countries. Now, during this time, you should take some time to learn more. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month, everybody!
I want to give you a few tips on how you can keep your student focused and educated. Some have computers and some don't. Some have internet and some don't. What can they do? Right. Here's some tips just for you.